Okay, so I guess we can go downstairs first and see what this guy has to say to us. Hello, Rakta. Apparently he's also a companion, but I forgot to talk to him. Welcome back, my friend. What can I do for you? Well, when you said this morning's casting, what did you mean? Exactly what I said. A casting that I made of a new locomotive assembly for Koshchei. He gestures at the display above the work table. Biomimetic design. As you can see, this one is inspired by the walking legs of a decapod crustacean, a mangrove crab, to be specific. Also, you're designing drone parts here. He nods. And fabricating them, yes. How did you learn that? More training and experience than I care to mention. He offers you a wry smile. Drone architecture was once my profession, you see. Now it's more of a calling. One that I'm free to pursue. Now that I've freed myself from the shackles of corporate servitude. Koshi is a interesting name for a drone. Yes, I suppose that it is. Not many riggers would name their most prized possession after a villain from a fairy tale. And not to my heritage, I suppose. Oh, if I had the etiquette, he would be able to tell me what's the thing about. Okay. Sure, that's it's fine. A thoroughly unpleasant person. Koshchei the Deathless, he was called. And for good reason. His soul was cleverly hidden outside of his body, and he could not be killed so long as it remained intact. Oh, so basically he's a lich. Okay. Koshchei was a villain, and a notorious kidnapper of women, but something about him always stuck with me. I suppose that it was the notion of immortality through cleverness and that resonated. There was something to be learned from that, I was sure. And so, when it came to time to name my beloved creation, his was the first name that came to mind. And your drone is deathless, like its namesake? In a matter, in a manner of speaking, I suppose that he is. I have redundant copies of every piece of his architecture, and his core programming is stored on a disk in a secret location. Should he ever suffer critical damage, I can easily bring him back. I had a plan once to automate the self-repair process. I must confess, it was really quite ingenious, but alas my research was lost. One day I will reclaim it, and Koshchei will become as deathless as the stories claim. Okay. But it will not be today. Oh, you get some pretty cool machinery, not the kind that you typically see outside of corporate settings. He smiles. The same could be said of many in Yoi, I'm sure. This is a smuggler's den, is it not? Our entire economy is based on people having things that they shouldn't. Is there a particular device that interests you out of curiosity? Yeah, those arms that you got over there. They look like something taken from an automotive assembly plant. His smile flashes brilliantly in the light. Good guess. That's precisely what they are. They are all of a boat, you might say. They weren't cheap, but I acquired them and had them mounted on the walls of my shop. I simply had to have them. The return of investment has been dramatic. Yes, they're cruder by far than the Waldo devices that I used in my professional life. But they still do the job and they are mine. He gazes lovingly at the industrial arms, still smiling. They have increased my fabrication capabilities nearly tenfold, and that to me is worth any price. Oh, are you Russian? I thought I caught a hint of an accent there. He nods. You have a good ear. I'm impressed. Yes, I grew up in Nizhny Novgorod. Went to school there. Started my career there in the industrial sector. A fairly common story, I'm sure. But I also have traveled a great deal, and in so doing, I have absorbed a number of other languages and dialects. Oh, how many do you speak? I'm gonna guess 5. Counting Russian and Cantonese, 15. Oh, that's a lot more than I thought. He shrugs apologetically. It shames me to admit that I'm only literate in 12, however. Uh, I mean, that's still pretty impressive. Pretty impressive? Extremely impressive. Just knowing, even knowing like 4 languages is really good. Perhaps, when compared to the common man, but I've known a great many polyglots who can, and do, put me to shame. He gives you another half shrug, and Koshchei mirrors the gesture. Arabic has been a particular bugbear of mine. The unfamiliar characters and lack of vowels make it damn tricky to get a handle on. Or I suppose that all men have their limits. Okay, you said you used to work for a corporation. Whose payroll were you on? Besides, that is something of a sore subject. My departure was involuntary, you see. I did not part ways with my employer under the best of terms. I will tell you that I worked for Grecian Aviacor, but you'll forgive me if I don't want to go into detail. Oh, that's fine. How can you afford keeping all of this machinery running? Freelance. At the risk of sounding immodest, I've commodified myself rather well. There are always corporations in need of design consultations. You'd be surprised by how lucrative such work can be, and there is always other work that I can turn into in a pinch. Oh, what's other work? He pauses, and for a second something flashes in his eye. Koshchi lowers its body into a crouch. A rather personal question, wouldn't you say? I mean, maybe, but then we're also having a personal conversation here. Indeed we are. But even in personal conversations, certain topics can be held off limits. Truth be told, I don't feel especially comfortable discussing my side work with relative strangers. Suffice it to say that my freelance activities often fall on the illicit end of the spectrum. You know what? I'm just gonna guess. You're probably a Shadowrunner, huh? He gives you a shallow nod. I dislike the term, but yes, I run the shadows. What gave me away? I mean, this third one is the smart choice. Design consultants live in apartments in Victoria Harbour, and you're living in a rusted out boat in Hioi. There's gotta be a reason for it. He shrugs. You are correct, of course. The residents of shadow communities are usually either too poor to live elsewhere or engage in behaviors too illicit to risk it. I will admit to being in the latter camp. Designing robotics is my passion, but it doesn't always pay the bills. He runs a hand over Koshchi's armored chassis, caressing the sculptured metal with his fingertips. My status as a foreigner has proven something of a impediment in this regard. And so, sorry as I may be to say it, the lion's share of my income flows from Koshchi's aptitude for butchery. Such is life, I suppose. We do what we must to do what we love. Okay, maybe we could work together then. He purses his lips, considering. A compelling offer. I'm doing quite well on my own, but I must admit that there are certain jobs for which I am unsuited. Magic eludes me, and I'm not a decker. My strength comes from material objects in the real world. Solid things like with mass and heft. Things that I can build and operate. Sadly, a great many clients are only interested in teams that display a mastery over the intangible. This group of yours, do you have people who can cover those bases? If so, then perhaps we can help each other out. Uh, You know, yeah, we also have a former security expert. I guess that's the best way to describe Duncan. In that case, I will accept your offer on a provisional basis. We'll do a few runs together and see how we get on. If our association bears fruit, it will continue. If not, I will bid you my farewell and go back to working alone. How did that sound? Yeah, that sounds great. Very good. Excellent. When you receive a job, you know where to find me. My skills and resources are at your disposal. And with that, I'm afraid that I must bid you good day. I still have to work to be done here. This leg assembly won't clean itself. Okay, I'm gonna be in touch. I'm looking forward to working with you. And I with you. Yeah, so he's good with bones. And I guess I'm gonna need him for like a mission to be able to do something. We don't need to take him, and I think I probably won't. But yeah, I should probably sleep because that's an optional thing. I'm gonna have another dream. You wake with a start. Once again, you're tangled in your sheets, drenched in sweat. Your throat feels like it's on fire. You can't remember what your dreams were about, not precisely. But again, you feel that yearning sensation, the emptiness in your gut and in your chest, your head throbbing. You heave yourself out of bed. Oh. Okay, that's it? Or is this like some kind of waking dream? No? Oh, I think he's like yeah. He's also like a free companion, I guess. Raktor's drone, Koshche, gains a 5% accuracy boost for all attacks. That's nice. Movement speed. Oh. Oh, both of them are actually kind of nice. Let's go with movement speed, because being able to move a little bit further will allow him to hide better. Or maybe reach cover when he wouldn't normally be able to do it. What about this? The drone gains an auto shotgun attachment, which does an additional 2 damage at the cost of minus 5% accuracy. Can hit adjacent targets at ranges 6 or greater, uses 10 ammo. So this would kind of offset this one. Oh, so we have Predator upgrades and Mangler updates. What is this one? Drone gains an auto shotgun attachment, gains a mounted saw blade in the melee systems. Critical attack is greatly boosted. Oh, so we could make him more melee focused, or we could make him more ranged focused. Hello, Messiah. Hello, hello. It's going well. It's very windy today, so I'm afraid that like the electricity is going to go out any time. Yes, new game. We finished streaming Heroes 3 days ago. So this is the third day we play Shadowrun. Additional heavy laser mounts. More health damage. You know what? Both of these are nice, and I think I should focus on one of them. Make them bleed. You know what? Let's go with Predator. I think I'm gonna be the only part of my team, the only member of my team that's actually punches and claws stuff with weapons. So this is good. Okay, let's actually talk to my companions, because I can possibly get some side quests talking to them. whose cabin appears to be the only clean spot on this bolt hole. Oh, on the bolt hole, that's the name of the ship. His equipment is neatly laid out in his bedding, on his bedding, rounded by type, arranged just so. He's currently in the process of cleaning his weapon, with meticulous care. Well, that's that, I guess. We're runners now. I forgot to ask about the benefits. Think we get medical and dental care? He stops for a moment, stares at the weapon in his hand. Damn. I don't think we took the brochure. We'll have to ask for it the next time we have an audience with our Chinese syndicate crime lord. He looks down the barrel of his gun, blows into it. You look like you want to talk about something. What's the topic? Yeah, I want to talk about Raymond. Okay, shoot. What do you think is going on with him? I don't know, Big. He was clearly obsessed with the walled city and whatever prosperity is. He sounds like a sleepwalker trying to stumble his way through a dream or something. A sleepwalker who hires Shadowrunners. From triad bosses. Well, whatever he was doing, he knew it would be dangerous. Raymond was smart. Smart as hell. If he thought he needed runners to take him into that place, he needed them. And why do you think he came to Hong Kong? Oh, he's from here, right? It sounds like he had unfinished business that he needed to take care of before, You think he's dying? No, he's not dying, I don't know. Yeah, me either. Just something to think about. Oh, did he say anything about me after I left? You know Raymond, Big. He taught us what he wanted to teach us. Told us what he wanted us to know. Everything else was met with a wall of good-natured silence. He used to say, "You are the master of the unspoken word, Mr. Wu. Once it is out of your mouth, it is out of your control." So no, after you left, he never said a word about you. Not a word. Okay, something else then. About being Shadowrunners. Is this like being in the triads and the fantasy settings? I mean, Shadowrun is a futuristic setting. I think it's like 2060, more or less. And we are Shadowrunners, which basically means we're mercenaries. We can hack into the Matrix to do some like data gathering and unlocking some stuff. That's kind of cool. Oh, there's magic. I don't know exactly the lore, but basically I think it's the 6th age of magic, where magic came back to the world and people started transforming into, like Duncan here, he's an orc. My character here, Big Fist, we are a troll. And there's also elves and dwarves. There's also dragons, but I haven't met any dragon yet in this game. Sure. Ask away. Yeah, about being Shadowrunners. What's there to say? I worked my ass off to pull myself out of a gutter and make something of my life. I did what it took to earn my bronze, and now I'm a mercenary hiding in the shadows of a foreign country. They're doing dirty jobs, but the corps need to keep off the books. It's the reverse of everything I ever wanted. You seem to be taking it pretty damn well, so let me ask you something. Oh yeah, he was a security guard. I don't know what my character was doing exactly, but we've been framed as terrorists that want to restore Imperial China. So now the Hong Kong police force really wants to kill us. I mean, arrest us, but basically kill us. You said you thought that Raymond was alive too. That we'd run the shadows until we could figure out what happened to him. Was that true? Yeah, I mean, this is about finding what happened to Raymond. All nods, clearly satisfied. Good. Good that we're on the same page. I feel better knowing that. Okay, what's your opinion on Kindly Cheng? I'd say she's got us right where she wants us. Right under her thumb. What do you want to talk about specifically? You think we can trust her? A triad boss and underground fixer? No. I don't think we can trust her. But as long as we all share the same goals, we should be okay. I guess that makes sense. As long as we serve her interests, she doesn't have a reason to betray us. Exactly. It's simple. She provides us jobs, we do jobs. She gets info about Raymond and that plastic-faced man, and figure out what the hell is going on. We figure out what's going on, she doesn't end up in the trunk of a car at the bottom of the river. Everybody wins. Wait, we figure out what's going on and she does... Would he... I guess he would kill her if she didn't keep her promise, huh? I guess that's fair. About the plastic-faced man. Creepy dudes are nothing new to me. Even well-dressed, creepy corporate dudes. Between the gangers we grew up with and the shit that I've run into as a cop, I've seen all kinds. I just want to know what he is, who he is, and who he works for. Okay, what do you think Canley Cheng wants from us? As long as her network keeps delivering information about Raymond, I don't care. At least for now. We need to stay with her. We have no other connections in Hong Kong. Without her, we're dead in the water. Okay, we should also keep an eye on Strangler Bao. We kinda humiliated him a little bit. We should keep an eye on everybody, and that guy is definitely no exception. I've seen plenty of cold killers in the Barrens and plenty more since I joined Lone Star. This guy's the real deal. I'm not sure if he knows what the word remorse even means. You should steer clear of him. Don't tell me how to live. I'll be careful. Uh-huh, I can see that. I don't think he believes me. Okay, let's talk about something else. About Gobert and Isabel. They seem competent, considering how young they are. But then again, they sound like they've been taking care of themselves since they were pretty young. The three of us worked together well in the walled city. Based on that, I'd bet the four of us would make a solid crew. Okay, do you trust them? As far as I trust any runner, yeah. It's like Raymond used to say, trust and verify. They haven't given me a reason not to trust them. Until they do, I'll believe what they say and keep my eyes open. Oh yeah, I can't get that dream that I had out of my head. You said you had one too, right? Yeah, yours sounded like a nasty one. I don't remember much about mine. I was pretty creeped out by our run in the walled city. Between that and all the drama, I'd be surprised if I didn't have a nightmare. Shrugs. Oh, was the walled city in your dream? Of course, the walled city was in my dream. It was a nightmare, wasn't it? It gives you a lopsided grin. Was it in your dream too? I mean, it sure looked like it. I'm not sure I'm surprised. The old city is more than just another slum in a sprawl. Hell, it is a sprawl. Of course we dreamed about it. The feeling I had there has stayed with me. It felt thick, heavy. And I got this overwhelming feeling of, I don't know, wretchedness, I guess. What do you remember about your dream? Just little snatches of things. He puts his hands to his lips and concentrates. The old city was breathing, and it had teeth everywhere, and there was a tunnel that was so bright that I had to shut my eyes, and Raymond was there. He was either kneeling or lying down, I can't remember which, but he was crying. That's what made me wake up, the sound of my father crying. Oh. Did it feel any different from any other nightmares you had? Takes his time, thinks about his answer a bit, and then he responds. You know how sometimes you'll be mad at a friend in a dream and then wake up still mad at him? Then you treat him like he did something wrong when you see him. It kind of feels like that to me. Like I dreamed I was swimming towards a bright light, and when I woke up I was out of breath from the effort. Okay. What do you think about the last run? What do I think about it? Let me ponder that for a second. He begins ticking off items on his fingers. We crashed a fancy party, disturbed the who's who of the Hong Kong trade-use scene, and fought a vampire. And in the end, we didn't even kill the damned vampire. We got a starlet fired for money. It was a big accomplishment. He shakes his head. Makes me miss the simplicity of being a cop. Anyway, enough about that. Need anything else? No. Later's good. I want to do some cardio, work up some steam. And it's rack time for me. You should do the same, Big. A couple hundred push-ups would do you good. Excuse me, I'm like a 8 foot tall. 4 meter tall. No, wait, 3 meter tall. Troll. I don't need to do push-ups. Yeah, I could bust 200 in my sleep. He raises an eyebrow. I'd love to see that sometime. But for now, you should clear out. I want to get started, and this cabin isn't big enough for two. But yeah, I want to see, did we get any new equipment? No, I don't think we got any new equipment on level 3. I think we may get better equipment on level 4 maybe? Because the weapon that he has right now is a very basic rifle.